Hello and welcome to KOW TV News Roundup. This is Africa Focus, and here are the top stories from across Africa and beyond. US President Donald Trump says he will not attend the upcoming G20 summit scheduled to take place later this month in Johannesburg, South Africa. Speaking at a conference in Miami, Trump claimed South Africa should not even be the G20 anymore. Speaking at a conference in Miami, Trump claimed South Africa should not even be in the G20 anymore, criticizing the country's leadership and its place in global forums. His remarks have drawn mixed reactions both in the United States and across Africa. The Johannesburg summit, set for November 22nd and 23rd, will bring together the world's major economies to discuss trade, global development, and security cooperations. Analysts believe Trump's comments may be linked to South Africa's recent support for the International Criminal Court's case against Israel over the alleged war crimes in Gaza, a position that has divided opinion internationally. South Africa government has dismissed Trump's statements as inaccurate and politically driven. Officials say the country remains committed to multilateral engagement and that its foreign policy reflects constitutional values and respect for international law. Observers note that Washington's absence from the Johannesburg meeting could shift diplomatic influence within the G20, potentially giving emerging economies such as China and India a stronger platform. Despite the controversy, South Africa says it is focused on hosting a successful summit under the theme Solidarity, Equality and Sustainability, aimed at amplifying the voice of the Global South in shaping world policy. Now, in Malawi, the government has banned maize exports as part of effort to strengthen national food security amid a deepening shortage. Officials from the Ministry of Trade and Industry say the measure is intended to stabilize domestic supply, curb rising food prices, and safeguard access to the country's staple grain. The move follows reports that more than 4 million Malawians are facing hunger due to poor harvest and prolonged dry spells. Under the Control of Goods Act, maize exports now require special authorization, and traders found violating the directive will face legal consequences. Economists have largely welcomed the decision, saying it has helped to ease pressure on local market and reduce prices. However, they caution that the ban should remain a temporary step, accompanied by long-term strategies to boost production, expand irrigation, and cushion farmers against climate shocks. Authorities have also announced a plan to import additional maize from neighboring countries while continuing to invest in sustainable farming and modern agricultural systems. The government says its priority is to ensure that every Malawian has access to food before considering external sales, describing the export ban as a necessary intervention to protect citizens during a difficult season. And in Burkina Faso, former South African President Jacob Zuma has held talks with President Ibrahim Traore, pledging to work together for what they called the liberation of Africa from neo-colonial influence. Now, the meeting held in the capital focused on Pan-African cooperation, economic independence, and resource management across the continent. President Traore, who came to power in 2022, has become a leading voice for African sovereignty and self-reliance, frequently urging nations to reduce dependence on Western partners. Zuma praised his leadership and said Africa's future should be shaped by its own people, not by outside powers. He also highlighted the need for stronger collaborations among African nations and the global diaspora. The partnership between the two leaders underscores a growing sentiment across the continent, a renewal call for economic empowerment, security coordination, and the creation of African-led development models. The meeting coincided with Pan-African Conference in Burkina Faso, bringing together activists, scholars, and diaspora representatives advocating for unity and continent self-determination. The meeting coincided with a Pan-African Conference in Burkina Faso, bringing together activists, scholars, and diaspora representatives advocating for unity and continental self-determination. And that's all for this edition of our news bulletin. from diplomatic tensions ahead of the G20 summit to Malawi's decisive action on food security and renewed calls for African unity, the continent continues to navigate complex challenges with resilience and purpose. My name is Maurice Mbugua. Thank you for watching.